Okay, then let's call the meeting to order and let's have roll call.
Agnes Varnarski, Chairperson.
Present.
Dana Syvertson, Commissioner.
Here.
Ed Madden, Commissioner.
Present.
John Komisch, Commissioner.
Here.
I'm Jill Moskow, Commissioner. Louis Saltroop will be absent, and I want to welcome Ms. Regan Coulter. She is the new Management Analyst in Administration and will be attending our meetings.
Yay.
Yay.
Thank you.
Welcome. And you're in charge of crowd control, too.
That's okay.
Should I say his name?
Sure, why not?
What madcap magic can I muster, Master?
One other mention, Seth Marcus is also Commissioner. He's absent, but we do have quorum.
Yes, thank you. And then let's have approval of the minutes of the board meeting of March 10th, 2026.
I recommend that, or I motion that we approve the minutes as so beautifully crafted by Jill Moskow, our secretary.
Thank
I'll
you,
second.
Dana.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Minutes approved.
Right.
And let's move on to old business. Volunteer workdays, winter projects.
They're over.
They're over. Okay, all right, well,
Anything you want to say about the winter projects?
we, as usual, got a lot done, a lot of fun times. They're very heavily attended. We've had more and more volunteers over the last several months, so sometimes we have 30 people volunteering, usually almost always over 20 on a Sunday workday, except for this Mother's Day, but that's always to be
Yeah,
expected.
the holidays.
Okay, other than that, I don't know if anybody else.
So
wants to
real
add
quick, the Mother's Day attendance was low?
It was a little lower than usual. It was like
Like, how many people?
18.
Yeah,
Oh,
18.
still pretty good.
It's still
Yeah.
pretty good, of course, yes, but, and
I
then,
ask in anticipation of Father's Day. That's
the Sierra Club PHNRC Earth Day Workday.
Okay, we did the Sierra Club workday at River Trails to help them out over there. We made a pretty big dent in the work that they had there. We had 3 burn piles. There were over 80 people that, including the Sierra Club, that showed up. Going forward,
As well as the East Leiden, right?
yeah, the East Leiden school was less than they had originally anticipated because I remember all the heavy rains that happened the first 2 weeks before the event. It pushed all the sporting events back to the day that the thing was. So they only brought out like 25 kids. So that was a far cry from the 40 to 60 that they thought they were going to bring. So that that impacted the amount of work that got done, but still there was a lot of work that got done. Chainsaw Lewis certainly was an animal with that chainsaw. I think next year, well, we've already had a request from the Park District to work on School Street Park. And that's where they would like to see the Earth Day workday. And we're thinking at this point that it's just PHNRC. There's just so much extra work with Sierra Club in tow, so I think.
Yeah, there was also mention about the area by the library as well.
Yeah.
Or along the creek,
Yes.
which is also a
Yes,
great
exactly.
area.
And that could be an actual ComEd grant, that whole area. So.
So we'll be in conversation.
As well as the new project that the Park District brought to us, which is Kiwanis Park. They just did a study with Hay and Associates. We have the printout of that. We haven't read it, haven't had time, just got it. And so they're looking for major input from the NRC. And that would be a nice project, and it's certainly something that could be a ComEd grant as well.
Is that the one on Palatine Front?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the erosion there is horrific, and it will cease to be a park unless something is done relatively soon, so.
You're going
Is
to
that where the
forward
Beaver
that?
Dam was?
That was just north of Palatine Road, the Beaver Dam. This is
The one
south
is-
of Palatine.
Okay, I know where you're talking, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a nice park.
It is on this park.
Yeah.
So that's it for the Sierra Club. Going on to the East Leiden High School days.
Are you going to forward that information to the rest of everybody?
The what?
The information about the Hay and Associates report and whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I just got it, so I haven't had time to do anything other than
Okay.
print it. So I'll send it out to all of you guys so you can review the package. East Leiden High School, they were scheduled to come out on 5/24, and that was, the original thinking is that we were going to do start the shoreline restoration while we had all those kids. John is going to be out of town. He's the main guy for this. So we are going to use the kids on the 5/24 workday to tackle all the overgrowth of now willows
And buckthorn.
and buckthorn on Hillside at the slough. I've talked to Mark Roscoe about it, and he would prefer that we burn it if we can. If we can't, then he said just bring it up to the road, tails out, and they'll chip it, but it's going to be a while. It would be sitting there for quite a while before, because they're so overloaded with work. All right, so they'll be back in the fall, and they're going to select all new dates. They're out of school. Right after this, they're going to DC on a trip, which is why they couldn't do a June date. And then they're out of school, so,
So they're still coming on the 24th.
yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Questions, comments?
Any questions, comments?
No.
Okay.
Projects, update status, comments, oh, well, actually, we all submit that via email. So are there any comments about what we submitted? We do this in the interest of time.
Do we want to talk what John's concerns were with the pipe at
Oh.
Hillcrest Lake?
Well,
Outflow flood control?
Yeah, it was just an update on Heron Pond.
Oh, I'm sorry, Heron Pond.
They are, putting a flood control pipe through it. And that's, I believe, to start pretty soon. Joe included, they're in the notes from the city council meeting
Yeah.
on March 9th. Anyway, there's a pipe that's going to go down Owen right through Heron Pond Park into McDonald Creek. And so as such, they've taken down some trees around there, and they've made a corridor for this pipe. So it's pretty chewed up as far as the grassy areas there and some down trees. The rest of the park is overgrown with buckthorn, and there are a lot of down trees from the recent storms in the spring. Those have been cleared. And then, but luckily, Chris Wood has been trimming the trails, and so it's walkable and still visitable.
Do we need a whole workday at Heron Pond?
We probably could use a work day there.
Okay.
Okay.
And so then that dovetails into the Hillcrest Lake and the shoreline restoration project. So as you said, we're looking at doing that early June.
Yeah, it would be the first workday in June and the second workday in June, which is Father's Day.
Yeah, so, and that's what my concern was. So this is heavy work for this. And I'd probably be nice to have some fathers there. So I don't know if that's going to dilute our.
Well, one
workforce or
suggestion
not.
that I had was that we bump Father's Day workday up 1 week,
I like that idea.
and we just do two Sundays in a row, and then take Father's Day workday off. So we
Okay.
just trade it out. Is that, everybody
Sure.
cool with that?
I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
But I think you should advise volunteers early.
Yeah,
So
oh,
they
yeah,
can make
I'll
plans.
send out a notice right away.
Now, the materials will have a right.
Yeah, I'll order materials tomorrow.
Okay. All right.
Okay. And I did send out my notice a little late, but I don't know if you've read it, but the boardwalk needs a little bit of stabilization.
It sure
Yes, it
yeah.
does.
Yeah.
Well, the ground has been really gooey around there
Yep.
all spring, so it's not good. But what we really need to do is get under it and put those bolts in like we did to several things, and then just be done with it once and for all.
Right.
So I guess we need a crew who's willing to get on their hands and knees and drill some holes.
I think Spencer and Craig were talking about that.
And Monty.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'd like to play along too, but my time is kind of limited. I do what
Okay.
I can. but-
Did you discuss that, do you know? with-
Yeah, I did, and one of the discussions that we had, which was going back to my original thought when we designed the thing, was to screw the sections together on the ends so that they became one unanimous surface, as opposed to being able to, go to and fro. So Spencer came up with the idea of cutting 16-inch scabs, so take all the treads that we have left over, cut them in half, and then put 8 inches on each side of each of the two adjoining sections, level them out, screw those together, 4 screws in each side, and then put the bolt underneath as well, on only one of the pieces.
I have an issue with that because when the flood comes, and that whole thing has to rise in the flood as one giant unit. I think that's a long length and I think it's gonna pull apart. I think in sections is still a good idea, but we can level it out still with the screws, but connecting them, I think it's gonna fail. It's too
Okay.
long of a length
Yeah.
and too many like
Yeah, you have some stress
variables
points.
over the
Yeah,
seasons.
I
and
would
all this
agree with
stuff.
you. I mean, you guys remember what happened to the bridge? and just-
It stayed level quite well for a year or two. Now it's just sinking in the mud, and we can get those bolts and just level it out that way.
We have all the materials.
Yeah, so
It's work, it's got to be done.
it's just, we got to get our hands and knees and drill the holes and all that.
Yeah.
So I still think that's the best option. I don't think
Okay.
connecting them I think it's going to be a lot of work, and I think over time it's going to.
Both solutions would work, so.
Yeah.
Let's do the bolts first and see,
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I
So
thought,
right?
Okay.
right.
let's
I
do
mean,
that.
because this is kind of a yearly thing that happens with the flooding, so
Right.
we do the bolts if that doesn't
Then
completely
each
take care
section
of
can come
it.
up and down as they need to, and
So can you organize Spencer and Greg and tell them
Yeah.
do that? Okay.
And that's not to
And
say
Monty.
if there's two sections that abut each other that are really off, that you couldn't do.
right, you could do
Spot.
smaller sections, I think. The
Embrace
whole
it.
length, I don't think,
Yeah, I agree. It would put stress points on
yeah.
certain parts of it, and it could give.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you for the input about that.
Also, let me throw this in there too. There's 3 areas that ComEd directly impacts, and that's of course, the Sedge Meadow, the Remnant Prairie, and the ComEd Prairie. They're not coming forward with any resources whatsoever, and I'm not quite sure what to do anymore. When you throw the Remnant Prairie and the Sedge Meadow on top of all of our other stuff, that's just, we don't have the
Yeah, manpower.
fan base
That's a large area.
it's a large area, and our ComEd Prairie really has to get burned, and they just won't let us do it. So one of the suggestions they had was actually apply for a Green Regions grant to pay Stantec to burn it. Which
Which
is
is,
kind of
right. I think my suggestion is to return it to a mow. Let vegetative management from ComEd take care of it. It's better off that way than us trying to go after
odd.
the
Which, the
woodies.
remnant or the ComEd Prairie?
The remnant and the sedge meadow.
Okay. I'll see if I can get them to do it.
And honestly, all they have to do is mow twice a year at
Mm-hmm.
the right times, but that's difficult. So you can't adjust it to like a schedule. It has to be just returned back to the vegetative management where they just mow on their schedule.
Yeah, I guess until we have more time in or manpower, that's
Right.
the best way to go about it.
But understand, once you kind of walk away from it a while, when you do get to it, it's going to.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got to maintain it, yes.
Deteriorated.
Yeah.
It's too bad. I just walked by there yesterday, and there's some nice sedges.
Yeah.
I know. I just don't think, I
And
mean,
there's
if
a lot of-
anything,
Well, I haven't
a lot
given
of
Well, why don't we-
stuff coming up now.
why don't we start at least with the remnant prairie? Because it's so bad, there's no way. The sedge meadow, I think we could get a handle on, because we really did a lot of work
We
with the.
did,
We
and
did.
last summer too.
Yeah, we did a lot of work in the summer. We did a lot with the.
We did 2
We
Sierra
did
Club
Sierra
work
Club
days.
work
Yeah.
days, so we're pretty good over there. And that's probably the nicest area, but the remnant prairie is just gonna,
Yeah.
I think we should just return it
Okay.
back. Mhm,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, so will you talk to them then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or let them know.
The problem
Yeah.
is that
Yeah.
our main contact jumped up in the command system, and so she's no longer our main contact. She was hands-on and very, very proactive and really made stuff happen. It's not like that anymore, so it's a
Right.
big bureaucracy.
Yeah, and it could be, they have different resources available too, and it is what it is, right?
Yep,
Have you looked at your bill?
okay, let's
All right.
move on.
Okay.
Got resources.
Prospect Heights Public Library Park District events, Nature Space.
Okay, we just had an absolutely spectacular Bill Glass talk about the bears in Alaska. The room was packed. It was just a really wonderful presentation. He's such a great speaker. So thank you, Bill. Next up is Joel Greenberg again, and he's talking about his new book, To Life. That's on June 23rd at 7 o'clock. That'll be an in-person. The book takes a look at 8 Jewish naturalists and their role in early restoration work, and also being Jewish. And some of them it's a very interesting story, extremely interesting, because they're all over the place with their religion. So it's not what you think it is. It's really interesting. So I think that'll be a great program.
And if you could forward me his information too by the end of the month?
Yeah.
The media?
Yeah, I've got it all right now, so I'll
Okay,
send.
just send it when you have a chance.
Okay.
It was actually funny because Joel Greenberg, turns out, is a friend and a neighbor of Bill Glass. So he actually came to Bill's talk.
Okay. The Seed Greenhouse Program update. Transplant Wednesdays are on. And we have a lot to transplant because of the plant sale that we had. We sort of stepped back from that. So now it's full on, but it's a good thing because that we have a lot of volunteers showing up every time. So Transplant Wednesdays will be from now until, who knows?
The end of time.
The end of time, until seed collection Wednesdays start, probably.
And the focus is solely on natives.
Solely on natives now. We are completely.
No more
back-
vegetables.
No more vegetables, except for the ones that are left over from the plant sale. We still have to figure out what to do with those. Okay. Education updates, MacArthur Middle School, nothing to report.
Nothing at Wheeling, and District 214 Career Initiative. We have 2 30-hour interns that are going to start very soon. They're just brief, 30 hours.
And we need to set up their
Both a couple
schedule.
of great kids, they know each
Really
other. So
What
that'll-
school are they from?
One is from Prospect,
They're
right?
both at Prospect.
Both at
yeah.
Prospect.
Okay.
Mhm.
And their schedules, right?
No, they're not scheduled. We have to
I
look
know.
at that tonight.
Yeah, okay. So looking forward to that. And then Friends of the PHNRC plant sale report.
Okay, there is a exit report that's being created by Maya, and she's collecting input from everybody, but gross sales, we had over 500 individual sales. With gross sales was like 26,853. Expenses were right around 5,200, so it nets out around 2157. So that's for very first plant sale. That's outstanding.
That's great.
Yeah. So I can't even begin to thank enough the volunteers and the commissioners that participated in this. There were people over there transplanting at 1 in the morning.
Almost every day, people are transplanting.
Yeah, and
Kathy O'Shea.
Kathy O'Shea,
And all of her friends.
Kate Tully, Amara, all those people, all the Sunflower Group came. And it just seems like there was somebody there all the time doing something.
Yeah, every day at our house, organizing. Maya is just unbelievable with
yeah.
and then Judy with the social media campaign and
Correct.
putting it all out there, and all the organization that went into this was just so huge. And Maya organized the volunteers. She had shifts. And so there was always like 10 volunteers at a time working different jobs. They had training beforehand. And there were so many people there. I mean, on Saturday, there was just like, there was a line to get in and a line to get out. And the fact that we were able to just have that go so smoothly, it's just all thanks to the organization that volunteers put together and all that hard work. It was just absolutely unbelievable.
Also want to thank the Eagles for doing a flyby both days.
That is, yeah, everybody's looked up.
Did you guys
Eagle.
do an analysis of what sold, what didn't sell?
It's all here,
Tune it
and
next
yes,
year?
absolutely. We are having a meeting, and so we have several volunteers that want to be included in this.
Yeah.
That were a very vital part of this, all of these things. And I can go through every single one and tell you exactly which one.
A little less kohlrabi.
Oh, yeah, a little less kohlrabi, definitely less broccoli.
Zero.
And who knew everybody wanted jalapeno peppers?
Yeah.
And we had 7 types of basil, but everybody still wants the Genovese.
All right.
Yeah, there's a lot, but definitely for next year, you know, if we're going to do, and scale back on the vegetables, and we're going to have so many more native plants, because that was the whole idea, to have native plants. The vegetables were there just to,
Well, imagine all that time and energy went into transplanting the vegetables and all that. Now
Right.
you shift it into stuff that actually sells better. I mean, next year could be even more phenomenal. So
it could be,
That's
yes.
great.
And we'll have so many more natives, and everybody wanted milkweed, which we completely sold out of. There's a lot of natives that we sold out of, and
Yeah.
everybody was there for milkweed, which was so nice, was so great, but we just didn't have enough for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Okay. Then we're moving on to the continuous reporting, the budget, 2025 to 2026.
You want to talk about that, or you want to?
Well, so I apologize for not getting the budget out. However, we're in a transitional phase right now, so the city's budget to us ended at the end of April, and the new budget started. We ended the year with almost $3,700 unspent. However, that, because of the Friends of the PHNRC, got transferred to that. So now we spend that at our discretion, and we don't have to follow the fiscal year rules to get this money spent or lose it. So nothing lost, and that's great, because we have expenses coming up, increased shoreline expenses and things like that. So anyway, that money was transferred over. We're starting a new budget, and so was that was paid
The
in-
operational portion of the new budget will be transferred over to Friends of as well. So from this point forward, Friends of will do all purchasing for the NRC. And
So we will get our budget reports then from, like,
from Katie.
Katie?
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm. Right,
Okay, she'll be tracking all the numbers.
correct.
Yeah.
So she'll provide them before each of our PHNRC meetings, at least.
Yeah, so I'll,
Although we still would need from the city about the interns.
Oh, yeah, that's separate, right?
Yeah, the intern, they retain, the city will retain the funding of the interns. They will retain
The shoreline.
the shoreline stabilization, and they will retain the grant money. So all purchasing related to those things goes through the city still.
okay. It's going to be a little more confusing, so.
Yeah, yeah, just think that everything that we order for PHNRC, we order
Comes from
through Friends of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
which kind of.
Everything else is the city.
Anything else that we have to say about the budget?
No, the new budgets were both approved, the Park District and the city budgets. There was no opposition to that. So we're off and running.
Right.
All right.
Now it's time to get to work.
A lot of work this summer. Okay, city civic meetings and PHNRC representation.
Okay. These are the civic and community meetings of March and April, and as Dana mentioned, the City of Prospect Heights fiscal year 2026-2027 budget was approved on April 27th, 2026 by the City Council, and we're very grateful for the funding from the city. We introduced Ms. Coulter at the beginning of the meeting. Mayor Ludwigson brought to attention Illinois House Bill 5626 entitled the BUILD Act, a current bill in front of the General Assembly that would basically eliminate single-family zoning in Prospect Heights. by allowing accessory dwelling units on single-family properties and potentially permit up to 8 units on lots over 7,500 square feet. The bill would override local zoning authority, reduce setback and green space requirements, eliminate parking controls, and strain infrastructure systems such as water and sewer. The bill was also mentioned at a Planning and Zoning Board of Appeals meeting. Dan Peterson, Director of Building and Zoning, brought further information forward. The whole premise of the proposed bill is affordable housing, but the bill eliminates all local municipalities' rights to do any type of zoning planning or control of residential developments. If the bill is passed, it will circumvent all zoning and other design standards. However, the City of Prospect Heights must implement every aspect of the state code. Prospect Heights does not have the infrastructure to support the potential housing over zoning, sanitary, sewer capacity, and land planning. Additionally, every new home must be built with 100% electric capability. Prospect Heights Park District Board meetings. The Prospect Heights Park District is actively monitoring Illinois SB 3336, which is the low-speed electric bicycle and micro-mobility regulation that amends the Illinois Vehicle Code to create a statewide regulatory framework for low-speed electric bicycles and certain other electric micro-mobility devices. The legislation significantly limits local control by requiring all bicycle paths to allow use by e-bikes, gas-powered bicycles, and other electric micro-mobility devices, with no ability for park districts to impose more restrictive regulations. All permits and payments for the construction of the Tully Park Horseshoe directional driveway have been completed and approved. Once soil samples of the park site are evaluated, a pre-construction meeting will be scheduled to determine when the district is able to break ground. And then, the only other thing, the Planning and Zoning Board of Appeals about the 69-unit townhome development by Netter Capital Services LLL at 999 and 1001 Oak Avenue in Prospect Heights passed its first reading by the City Council in March. Due to extensions requested by Netter Capital Services, continuation of this topic was conducted at the May 11th City Council meeting. The City Council makes the final call.
Thank you, Jill.
Thank you. Okay. Friends of the PHNRC.
We've already discussed it, so.
Okay. Summer interns.
Okay, they start on Wednesday, the 20th. Grace Bourbon and Bridget McLeod. They both live local. Grace is at Syracuse and Bridget is at, where is it? Not Butler. I'll remember. It's in Nashville. They're both extremely.
It's where they go to school.
Vanderbilt?
No, not Vanderbilt. Starts with a B.
I can't remember either.
At any rate, they're both incredibly brilliant. They're both extremely anxious and excited to be working with us. And Grace had, as soon as she got back from Syracuse, she immediately came over to visit the house. And then she actually came to the workday on Sunday. So she's raring to go. I think it's going to be a great year.
It really is. They're
Really
working.
looking forward to it.
They're working on their Illinois pesticide licenses. Looks like they're both going to do applicator. And yeah, I'm really
It's already
looking
a
forward to it.
competition. So that's it.
Great. Okay. New initiatives, the Prospect Heights Community Days.
Community Day has been moved to Public Works Facility because of the construction that has still never happened at the Public Service Commons
But
from the
supposed
fire department. But it would be a little bit rough, in all honesty, with it sort of the way it is. And we are going to participate in it. It's on June 6th. Lloyd was going to give us a wrap-up and maps, but he never did, so. Okay, cool, thanks. So that's it. The block party we're in, that's June 20th. They're expecting a huge turnout for this one. They're totally rearranging everything to make more space as a result. And the Independence Parade, John is not going to be there. I think he has an accolade, though.
Yeah, so I guess we need to come up with a plan for our representation in the parade this year. As most people know, the float that we've used in the last 4 years or so has been completely dismantled and is no longer available. So I think this year will probably be more of a watered-down event. It's going to need some different leadership. I won't be around this year. We do have all the puppets from previous years, a lot of the decorations and stuff, so we'll probably need someone to kind of step up and organize a little bit of a production for that parade. Do you guys have any ideas about how?
Kate said she was willing to take on that role if there was help. So,
I think she will get help.
There's usually
she'll
help.
get help.
Yeah.
She'll definitely get help.
And also, there's the dilemma of both Arlington Heights and Prospect Heights are on the same day.
Right.
Yeah, so because, the same day, same time, everything, so we are not participating in Arlington Heights
Right.
this year.
Well, give somebody else a chance to win.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Exactly.
Well,
We're
that's
being
what
generous.
Well, strangely, I mean, ironically, this morning I got a call from the Arlington Heights Parade Committee. And, okay, they never call. And in fact, in previous years, when I've put our application in and all this other stuff, it's very hard to get anybody on the phone. This year, I get a call, and they said, "Are you participating?" I'm like, "What?" And so I told them our predicament with the conflict in times, and she was extremely disappointed.
Oh,
And she's like, "Oh my God, we're gonna miss you," you know. And she went on and on about you know,
Guilt
our-
trip.
about how, how wonderful it is, and I guess it's the 50th year anniversary for their parade and all this stuff. So anyway, she said we be sorely, sorely missed this year. So kind of nice to hear that.
Yeah.
But, onward and upward, we'll do what we can this year with Prospect Heights, and then
Excuse me, and as it is, they might have been disappointed because
no float.
no float, yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be a different,
Well, this, it's funny. The parade kind of has an energy of its own, and once the time starts coming, things just start coming together, and all of a sudden these things just like start to flourish. I imagine that probably would have happened this year as well, but one parade, hour and a half long this year in Prospect Heights, I don't think it's going to be we don't need a giant production like we've done.
yeah.
And then, we'll just gear up for future years.
Sounds
okay.
brilliant.
So if anybody's out there listening, if you want to partake in parade float production for the PHNRC, please give us a call.
Especially if you have a trailer.
And were we going to invite the East Lyden High School kids? Remember I suggested that? Because they're such a large part of us.
Yeah, they're all gone to
They're
gone.
Saturday
They're off
Okay.
for
for summer.
Yeah. Okay. New business. Does anybody have any announcements to the public?
Get outside and enjoy the nature.
Yes, it is beautiful everywhere. It's gorgeous.
So the Eagles have been very, very active lately, as we all know here. And my wife Kristen this morning took a picture of the nest and the juveniles in there.
Oh, cool.
With Mama. She's got, it's a cool photo. It's an iPhone photo. It's not the clearest, but you can see the baby eagle in there. Baby, but it's like this big. And Mama Eagle right there. And then they're hunting very aggressively these days. And I sent a video to some people about,
You did.
there's a white duck in the lake there, and those eagles were dive bombing the heck out of it last night or the night before and trying to have a duck dinner. So if you got small animals,
Yeah.
be careful. Yeah,
And are we talking about the nest that's on Maple, just
Yeah.
north
Yeah.
of Willow?
yeah.
Okay. And nothing in our, what was,
Osprey nesting
Osprey nest?
platform, no.
nothing?
But the more eagles we get, apparently eagles can use the Osprey nesting platform as well. So, not yet.
Okay.
Okay,
Mary Lou Mellon passed on her congratulations to us as well, so. On
Okay.
Eagles.
all right, well then, if there's nothing else,
Any visitor comments?
there's no visitors. Okay. Then I guess we should adjourn.
I might make the motion we adjourn.
I'll
Aye.
second.
All in favor?
See ya.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Next meeting, August 13th,
Thank you.
7 PM. Thanks, everybody.